All right, we are live. My name is Ivan Lugo.
My name is Jarvis White. I'm currently dressed as Kick because you know that's funky fresh.
That's true. We'll get to that later. We represent
Ultra Street Fighter 4!
We don't represent Ultra Street Fighter 4, but we're using it. We represent a group called the New Challengers. We came together as just a bunch of friends playing fighting games overseas. We were contractors and soldiers in Afghanistan that got together because we love fighting games, and we started hosting tournaments. And what we were able to do is actually create an organization that has people donate prizes and promotional gear for the tournament. So basically they're like sponsored. So that's what we do. And we also like to educate anyone who wants to get into fighting games in particular on how to start off. So just a little bit about this panel. This panel isn't about super advanced tactics and techniques on how to be tournament level fighting game players.
No, it's not.
We're here to take anyone who's a complete newbie and doesn't know a sonic boom from a Hadoken and train them up so they can get going and so they can jump on the sticks and be confident and start racking up those W's.
A big thing I found when I'm out there playing with the soldiers is newer players like to quit fighting games because they lose and they don't know why they lost. They're like, I just blocked that. How did that hit me? Why can't I block? What's going on? If you can arm somebody with the knowledge about why I'm tearing them up so bad 50 times in a row, it makes it so they can get a little bit better so I can tear them up 45 times in a row and they might win one, but probably not. I'm not about keeping self-esteem up. I'm about them W's, you know what I'm saying? Give me that. All right, so let's start this panel real quick.
Right on.
We already talked about who we are.
You did not change my name on the
I
slide.
didn't change it. It's okay. You are not Marvin Tongue. Marvin Tongue's the one that made this PowerPoint. Shout out to my boy. Moving on to the next slide. Gold panel. Awareness. Basic concept. Lingo. That's what we do. Let's talk about genres.
Right on, right on.
Okay, what you got?
This game right here was the original karate game. It's like really the original concept of putting two sprites next to each other and having them fight.
Yes, it was.
You got the player one on the left, player two on the right, real basic, you know, has like what, 2 buttons and like a joystick. So the two major kinds of fighting games that you will find out there, there's a couple different kinds. But the two major kinds are 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. When we started off, of course everything was 2-dimensional. Even driving games back then were 2-dimensional.
Yeah.
But then of course the software evolved and Harada brought out that Tekken, and then that Virtual Fighter came along. You got the 3D. So you basically have 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. And when we're talking about 2-dimensional, we're not talking about graphics. Like, rarely any games use sprites anymore, except for our man over here in Blaze Blue.
What's up, Osama?
So when we're talking about Street Fighter 4, the game is rendered in 3D, but it is on the 2D fighting plane. You have an X and a Y axis. There's no Y axis going on in that game. So that breaks it down to 2D and 3D. 3D games like Tekken, like Soul Calibur, like Virtual Fighter, DOA. And we'll break down the quick differences between the two real quick.
Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. Now, our panel is mostly going to be based off the 2D concepts, but a lot of that can be used for 3D fighting games. Block advantage, things like that. You need to know this. It helps you. Drop my camera, break it. That's cool, whatever. So what else we got going on right now? Attack and defense. This is the killer for most newer players. You got to understand effective ways to attack and defend. Let me tell you an effective way not to attack. What's my ultra? Okay, it's cool to know it, but there's other buttons in the game you want to learn. We're going to go over that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I think you're going to find though in 3D fighters, side note, much harder to defend in a 3D fighter.
It is.
Because in a 2D fighter, that down block, that's your go-to. Depending on what game you're playing. You crouch low, you can block pretty much everything. You stand block, you better watch your feet. You jump and block. Marvel, shoot, chicken block everything.
Yeah.
All right?
Up in that 3D fighters though, what you have is the stand block will only block high and mids, but will not block lows. But then the crouching block will not block a mid attack. I know that might be like a weird concept, but you'll see it. The low block is a very vulnerable block in 3D fighting games. So that's one of the main things. And of course, the other thing is sidestepping. Yeah. You got the back and forth, and you got the left and right. So
changes everything.
Changes everything. But again, we're going to be focusing on the 2-dimensional fighting games today.
So if you came in here to get good at 3D fighters, don't leave us. We're still hilarious.
Yeah.
We can entertain you.
And somewhat applicable.
somewhat applicable. 3D fighters, movement, like my boy here said. We've got sidestepping, we've got that left and right. We've got things called 8-way run in games like Soul Calibur. You can see my man Nightmare up there, but he just did the Eddie Gordo. That game has sidestepping. To get around that, if you all play Tekken, who here plays Tekken? Let me get some hands. If you play Tekken a lot, you know that game is not a 2D fighter. A lot of beginners play the game and they just want to fight head on.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of motion in that. Sidestep canceling, Korean canceling, all that stuff. What you got, man?
I'm just curious what the 2 games up there are.
Those two?
That's a Gundam. That's an arena game that Marvin threw up there. That is, I think that's Arena Gundam Fighters.
That's the stage down there. That's the stage.
This is the stage from Soul Calibur.
Yeah, it's the stage.
It's the floating raft.
Yeah.
Now, another big thing, since we're talking about 3D movement and 3D fighters, you have different arenas. You know, in a 2D fighter, it's like wall, ground.
Unless you're playing Fatal Fury, but we're not talking about that.
Yeah, we're not even talking about that. But in a 3D fighter, this is actually an actual arena. This is a particular square that has no walls. It has ring outs. Some games have ring outs, like Soul Calibur, but different 3D fighters will, like different stages, will actually change the dimensions of the arena that you're playing in. So that's something to watch out for.
Yeah, like DOA, real quick. Not gonna get too technical on you, but if you're standing on ice or water in that game, all low attacks count as counter hits.
So it adds that wrinkle. So
Yeah.
the arenas in 3D fighting games matter. In 2D, it's just like all the stuff that's happening in the background.
Yeah.
Like, look at all that craziness happening in the background.
Look
It's
at
not
those
gonna affect
guys waving their arms repeatedly.
That guy's drinking that bottle.
That dude's triceps are so strong.
you. That guy is so wasted, but
He's
he's
got
Russian.
an endless bottle.
Yeah,
Reaction.
Yeah.
3D fighters. Now, my man Ivan, he made the transition between 2D and 3D. He can jump back and forth. Me, I cannot. I cannot react to all that noise coming at me. Or as our buddy Benitez would say, that BS.
All that
He was a
BS.
very high-level Tekken player, and he said a lot of Tekken is BS. You're throwing out a lot of BS to try to see what they're gonna do. You're throwing out them kicks, them punches, all that stuff to try to hit that mid, try to hit that hop kick, try to hit that throw. You're trying to do that to get in there. Me, I'm not processing all that. I'm just a 2D fighter.
2D fighters.
If y'all saw me down there playing that anime fighter, I will sit there and just block and wait for you to do something unsafe. I'm like, I'm gonna get you now, son.
But we'll get into
I'm
that.
gonna get you right now.
We'll get into that when we start going into attacking and defending.
Now let's get in the meat of this.
The 2D fighters.
First of all, this man is
Not
too real.
me.
Yo,
You is too real.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
No, that's you, man.
That's you.
You
That's
is
you.
too real.
Persona.
He's too real. Persona 4A. It's a 2D fighter based on the Persona anime and RPG.
Now, there's a lot of different types of fighting games out there.
Yeah.
You got games like Dive Kick, the
Dive
one
Kick.
true game, so we're just gonna set that one aside. We're not even gonna mention that with the rest of these bogus games.
Right.
We got Street Fighter.
V1 beginner, like the granddaddy of all the games. Not the first one, just the most important one, Ryu.
Never ever call King of Fighters a ripoff of Street Fighter
Nope.
to a King of Fighters player, because they will probably bust a cap in you
Yeah,
at
King,
some point in
King
time.
of Fighters is its own completely unique and awesome thing.
Guilty Gear.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, man? You know, we got that. I need a picture of you later, by the way. Now, we also got games like Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
You're Blaze Blue, I'm sorry. Whatever.
He's Blaze Blue, right?
Forget it.
But the way I like to section it off, you got games like Street Fighter.
Yep.
You got games like King of Fighters. It's all 2D, very complex. It's 3-on-3. And then you got what I call the crazy anime fighter. Crazy anime fighters, including a man Blaze Blue over here. He's half snake monster. Go figure.
Yep.
You got dudes, 7 feet tall with dash cancels. Lots of stuff going on with those anime fighters. Lots of mechanics, a lot of licky chewies, a lot of bars and symbols and stuff.
Yeah.
I like to lump those into one kind of genre of fighting games.
A lot of people call them dashers, or anime fighters.
Anime fighters.
Anime fighters makes people really, really angry sometimes.
Yeah, because there's so much going on.
But they're like,
Start breaking it down.
it's not just an anime fighter, because King of Fighters is also kind of considered an anime fighter because it's in an anime style. But it's not an air dasher. So
Yeah.
we got air dashers, we got Street Fighter type games, we got Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct type games, the dial
Those.
combo type games that are complete garbage. But I'm not
Right.
gonna go that either.
That's politics. That's politics. But the most important thing when we're talking about two-dimensional fighters, spacing and movement.
Different from 3D. 3D movement, that's the game for you.
Yeah.
Movement is most of what you're doing. And when you're
3D.
Tekken, you're moving. You're constantly moving around, trying to move in to get those hits because it's really hard to defend. 2D, your movement isn't like crazy. You're just trying to inch in and out. Like anybody know who Daigo Umehara is? He's one of the greatest Street Fighter players on planet Earth right now. One of them.
Probably ever.
His spacing is superb. He doesn't block sometimes. He'll just take a little step back, watch your kick whiff, walk in, and get you. Very good.
It's about
2D
controlling that
fighters,
space.
frame perfect spacing, frame perfect timing. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. Yeah, you can say about movement right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, in a two-dimensional fighter, moving is easier to do, but spacing is harder to attain. But
Yes.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to tell you that 3D fighters are harder than 2D fighters, it's apples and oranges.
Exactly. So here's how we move. You got the stick, you know, you press up, down, left, right, all that stuff.
Yes.
We'll break it down.
We got walking, jumping, dashing, and running. Now what I'm playing on today is called a hitbox. I don't know if you all have seen this. We'll be setting up in the game room. We got a dive kick tournament later, 2 o'clock. If you all want to play, free to enter, prizes, cool stuff. Left, down, right, up. It's pretty cool.
It's different. Not the traditional joystick, but we're different like that.
But we're very different. So we're gonna go over
Set this up.
some basic movement right now. Let's get in that Street Fighter real quick. Okay, so we got our man Ryu up here versus our man Guile.
Here you go, dog. No, we're both on it? Oh, shoot.
Let me tell you something about this training menu. It's your friend. See all these options right here? If I see you training and you don't have auto block on, or your command buttons on or whatever, obviously don't know what you're doing and might want to play a different game.
Right.
I mean, no offense or nothing.
So,
We'll play a different
real
game.
quick, we're going to show you some stuff in training mode. What do I press start?
Yeah, press on. Okay, go up. You're in charge now.
Oh, I'm in charge. Shoot.
Now you got me
You
playing.
might want to be in
Really, I
charge.
appreciate you playing as Guile right now. Or me playing as Guile. Okay.
You want to switch?
Yeah, let's switch.
Let's switch, man. I'm the charge character guy around here.
All right, so we got movement. We got some movement going on here. Ryu, he walks forward. He walks backwards. He crouches. He jumps. Oh man, so exciting, right? Here's something that blows a lot of people's minds. Forward, forward, dash, back, back, dash, back. These are all things that when you first start playing a new game, give it a shot. Move around with your characters. Get a feel for the motion. A lot of people don't do that. They overlook it. They're like, oh, I'm above this. This is so simple. All the little intricate things, you need to know how they work. Dashing, understand what dashing forward and back does. In Street Fighter, you know you're invincible when you back dash for a few frames. And you're airborne. You can dodge throws with that. That's something good to know. You can dodge a low attack. Who knows, man? Look at that.
Oh!
Look at that. That's that timing I was telling you about. That was a first try right there. I could leave today and still be happy. So let's move on to what else? Y'all, why are you putting the shades on? Why are you doing that right now?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, so that was Shades of Glory, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the slideshow here. Movement. Now, other games have things called super jumps. Down, up, jump really high, really fast. KOF has hops. Tap up. KOF has super jumps, super hops, normal jumps, all that stuff.
Rolls.
Rolls, it's got
Yeah.
all kinds of
King of
stuff.
Fighters has a lot of different movement options. But
It
when
makes
we're
it
talking
really
about
bad.
Street Fighter, we're talking about jumping, dashing, and walking. Those are the 3 real forms of maneuvering.
Now we're gonna scoot this right along, but let me tell you right now, if you're playing a 2D fighter and you can't block in the air and you're repeatedly jumping and traveling around the screen, you're a fraud. I'm sorry. You're a fraudulent player.
So
I'm
this
sorry.
is, like I said, this is the intro to fighting games. When someone doesn't know what to do and they pick Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, what do they immediately start doing?
They want to jump punch
They
you.
want to jump.
They want to get that first hit to start off their combos that they don't know because they just started playing the game.
Right, they want to jump. And we're going to show you the first thing about really getting good is knowing when not to jump.
Yeah,
Which is most of the time.
You probably don't want to jump all the time. And on top of that, when you're jumping around like that, you're vulnerable. They know where you're going to land. Now, if you can block in the air, it's a little bit different, but I do not advise you to jump everywhere and do all that stuff. I mean, come on, walk on the ground. If you look at combos online, like if you're going to learn about your character, like you're looking up Dudley, like, what combos do I want to use? They're going to start you on the ground. Very few combos will start with like jumping heavy punch, this and that, or whatever. No, you work on the ground first. You get that air hit on a dizzy, or when they're vulnerable, like they're throwing out fireballs, like they're Daigo, but they're not.
Yeah. So, lesson. Learn to not jump.
It's hard at first. I recommend playing matches where you just never jump.
Yeah.
Just don't
It's
jump.
good. It's good training.
If you can win not jumping, you can pretty much beat anybody that has no idea what they're doing. And they'll get mad, and they'll get really frustrated. You can revel in it.
Yeah.
Revel in their tears.
Just collect them in a jar.
Just
and
collect
drink
the
them.
tears. Like have separate jars for tears for days of the week.
Yeah.
Attack.
Yeah.
Street Fighter's a 6-button game. Now I'm not going to give you that whole fierce, roundhouse, strong. I'm going to tell you the way it is now. Light kick, medium punch, heavy kick. That's how I'm going to refer to it. If anybody has a problem with me not using fierce or whatever, I'm sorry.
Now you can change them up to suit your style, but the regular arcade format is the lights, the mediums, and then the heavies. Kicks and punches. Real simple.
If you are setting up your controller, do not use certain buttons. I know a guy who he never used mediums. He just got rid of his mediums. Like, I don't need those. You play this guy. Who plays this guy and doesn't use mediums?
I know, right?
It's crazy.
I'm just gonna say this. I know everybody likes to learn how to just start with the Hadokens or Scorpion Spear and just do it over and over again because it seems to give you an advantage. But the normal moves are important too. And real quick, I know when most people start, they start on one of these because they come with the PlayStation, right? You're looking at light punch, light kick, medium kick, hard punch, hard kick, hard kick. It's not the most intuitive, but it works. There's some people that we know can beat people with the pad. But anyway, learn the properties of your normal moves.
So normal moves is where you need to start. Special moves, everybody wants to learn them. Everybody wants to throw a fireball. Everybody wants to do a tatsumaki. Everybody wants to do that and feel cool and good about themselves.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but if you want to elevate your game, you got to do other things. We've also got things called command normals. Now, if you notice up here on the screen, we actually have different things to show what they mean. You see this Z right here?
The Z.
This is called a dragon punch motion or shoryuken motion. It's forward, down, down, forward.
So on a stick, it'll actually look like a Z because you're going forward, then down forward. So it's like you're doing Zoro on your stick.
Yeah, imagine you're Zoro. Everybody wants to be Zoro. He's so suave, he gets all the ladies. You want to get ladies? Play Street Fighter. That's what I collected from that.
What's
How
up,
would you do it
man?
on the D-pad?
Say again.
How would you do it on the D-pad?
Man, it's actually pretty simple. Forward, down. It's like you tap forward and then you go roll down, down, forward. So it's gonna look like this, man. Boom, 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 boom.
Another easy way to think about it is while walking forward, do a Hadoken. This is your fireball motion right there. Quarter circle forward,
Just down, forward.
quarter circle back, everything, man. You got your 360 and your half circle. That way, when somebody comes up to you and says, yeah, it's quarter circle forward punch, or it's fireball punch, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Fireball motion is always quarter circle forward.
There's about 5 different kinds of special moves, and then it's almost universal for all fighting games. You got your quarter circle motion. That's your fireballs. You can do it forward or back. So when you get to the down circle back kick, that's the hurricane kick. So you can see down, quarter circle back, quarter circle forward. Quarter circle is like the easiest, most basic thing. Then you got the Z's. The dragon punch, you can do it forward and back. Usually it's gonna be a more powerful move because it's a more intricate little motion. Take some time in training mode to be able to just throw that out like that. It takes a little bit of practice, right?
Yep.
Half circle back and half circle forward are like the quarter circle, but you're starting at back, going all the way down, all the way to forward. It takes a little bit of time to get that timing. This 360 right here, a lot of people are afraid of it. It's not that hard. You don't actually have to do 360 degrees on your stick or on your D-pad. All it needs is really for you to input the 4 cardinal directions within a certain time frame of each other. So it's really only like 230 degrees.
Yeah.
So like on a stick, okay, so if you can see the stick right here, you're gonna do a 360 motion. You wanna do Zangief's spinning pile driver, which is a pretty boss move. Really, you can start either back or forward. You're just gonna rotate it, and then you hit up and punch at the same time. So you don't have to go 360 and then back to the forward position. No, it's down. It's forward, down, back, up, and then you're hitting punch right at the same time that you're hitting up. Because what do you see when most Zangief players are trying to do a spinning pile driver?
They jump.
They jump because they're not hitting that punch right as they're hitting up. It takes a little bit of getting used to, But once you know that you have to hit the punch right on the up so that you don't jump, that sucker will start coming out. You'll be spinning pile driving some dudes.
If you see a Zangief doing a lot of green gloves or jumping at you, if you have fireballs, just throw them.
Yeah.
I actually progressed pretty far in a tournament against a bunch of grapplers just throwing fireballs. I told them, like, hey bro, I'm not going to fight you, I'm just going to throw fireballs the entire match, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And they lost. He
Another
was
thing-
mad, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to fight you. I'm just going to do a 360. You have damage, I don't need that garbage.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now, let me tell you that. If
Yeah.
you're doing something and it works, keep doing it.
Yes.
Don't let anybody tell you you're being cheap for throwing a lot.
Mm.
They need to deal with that.
Yes, they do.
All right? They need to deal with the fact that they're going to get thrown, and if they can't deal with it, then I guess you're going to win all the matches.
Don't let them throw you off their game by calling you a cheesy fighter.
Yeah.
If they don't know how to fight it, that's on them. But you know what though? Y'all are here, so y'all are gonna know how to counter some stuff tonight.
There's no such thing as a perfect guard.
Say again?
Those are today.
Today.
Tonight, if you see us, you can play us.
You can play us whenever, man. We'll help you out.
All right, and command normals. Those usually involve holding in a direction, usually forward, and pressing a button. Now, if you're playing as a character like Makoto, you want to use my girl Makoto, let me warn you, she has a command normal for every single one of her buttons.
So you hit medium punch. She's like,
Oh, so much stun.
that's her medium punch. She's just standing there. Medium punch.
Oh, 9 years.
But if you're pressing forward in medium punch, it's not a special move. It's not like a Hadoken or nothing. It's
This weird little thing where she just cricks her little wrist and just hits you with it. Really safe on
and
block.
when we get back on the screen, I'll show you because Gal's got a million of them.
We're gonna go back on the screen right
Let's
now.
go back on the screen and then we'll go over the commands. But it changes the properties of your moves, so you gotta know what all your normal moves do. All right. Also, one more, I forgot to mention this. We talked about quarter circle motions, dragon punch motions, 360s. There's also something called the charge move.
Yeah,
You
that's
hold
dope.
down one direction, usually back or down, and then you press the opposite direction and punch. It's
Oh!
called the charge move.
Oh!
Oh! That's all he's got. Ow! Yeah. So I'm pressing down and back, and at the moment, you have to be holding that move for about 1.5 seconds in order for the move to come out. And the whole key with playing a character that has to hold charge is to always be in your mind whenever you're doing something, be holding that down back. So I'm going to be jumping and I'm going to be holding this. So as soon as I land, I can be throwing some sonic moves.
Now, let's talk about why you need to go into and practice your normals. A lot of people just want to go into training mode and they immediately want to go and open up the command list and do stuff.
Like that, right?
Yeah, they want to do that stuff. They want to do that stuff, and once they've done that stuff, they're like, well, I know this character. Let me talk. Stay crouching, please. Let me talk to you about this. Wow. Wow, that's good to know, right? It's good to know that Ryu's standing heavy kick does not hit crouching people at all. People while playing newer players are like, why didn't I not hit you? It's like, it's a crouchable high. They're like, what does that even mean? I'm like, yeah, you're going to lose.
They crouch.
You're going to lose 20 more matches. Oh, but it knocks down, you hit it. So you got to understand what all of your normals do.
Oh, sorry, dog.
Why am I medium punch hitting that?
Oh, see that? Ooh, combos. So you got your jabs. See how fast that is? I'm stuffing all your stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
That's that jab. It's real powerful. It'll shut down a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be trying to do all kind of crazy stuff, and you're like, jab. Ah.
And the jab is a good move to do because it's usually what's called safe on block. If any of y'all don't know what that means, it means that if I, like, here, block that, like, do something on block it.
Okay, all right. Block this.
Or it's a crouch block.
Oh shoot, Guile doesn't have any unsafe moves.
Let me try this, hold on.
Okay.
Lock this.
See that right there? Right there.
Okay, what has happened there is I tried to hit him with my stand heavy punch, right? I'm gonna try to block. Instinctively, if you miss an attack, you're gonna try to block. But if the attack has too much disadvantage, meaning if I'm still going through animations and posing and, oh, I'm a martial artist, he can hit me with his jab kick.
And that's called a punish.
Yes.
So watch this. I'm gonna throw out something ridiculous called the flash kick. It's my special move, right? Oh, he blocked it. Oh, he can do all kind of awesome stuff. You just punch the F out of this flash kick.
Oh, man. My buttons are all messed up, dog. What's up with
Blame it
that?
on the buttons, dog. Here we go.
Oh, man, what?
So now you know you cannot,
I
dude. You
can't do
cannot
that.
punish. You cannot punish a flash kick with sure you can. There you go. All right, check this out. Check this out.
Street Fighter.
Oh man,
Your
cancel-
buttons are, your medium punch is a weak punch button. It's throwing me off, though.
change that up.
No, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to deal with it.
Okay, all right. So you do like a sure you can.
Okay. You know I can't punch short. Go on. Sure you can.
Boom.
Now we're
Unsafe. You throw it out there. If it gets blocked or if it gets whiffed, there's nothing you can do from accepting ungodly amounts of damage.
Now, some people have asked me before, like, how do you know if you can punish something or not? How do you know? If you play a game enough, you can kind of see, like, what moves will punish or whatever. Now, there's a difference between just hitting someone because they're dumb and punishing something. A punish is you're actually hitting them during a time in which they wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway, after their attack.
Yeah, man.
A counter hit is when you hit them before their attack comes out.
Well, they're like
Them being idiots
right
is
there.
when you just hit them in the face and they're not blocking. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Now let's do fast forward special normals block low, please, sir.
Oh.
That's a standing attack.
See, I'm blocking. I'm blocking. Oh, I'm blocking. I can't do nothing.
Normally, you know, he's doing that.
That's
But if I
his
do-
medium punch right there, right?
Yep, that's his medium punch. A lot of hit stun on that move. Good move to hit. Same thing with the low one. But if he's ducking, obviously not going to hit.
That one will.
But that one will.
And same thing for Guile. Guile's got that punch.
That's called an overhead.
Yeah.
Or a mid attack.
Yeah.
3D fighters know them primarily as mid attacks. 2D's overheads. Now, it's good to know those because newer players play and they're like, why am I getting hit right now? It's because you're ducking. They do it in overhead.
Yeah. Normally, especially with Guy, if you're just pressing down block, that'll make high attacks get blocked, mid attacks get blocked, and low attacks get blocked. That's why if you know what your overhead is, you're like, oh, you just want to turtle all day? You just want to curl up in your little shell and feel safe with your down back block? Boom, overhead, and you'll break that defense down.
Yep, and some people can combo their frame advantage, meaning that they hit you, bop bop, and they're still in hit stun. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do what's called a link. Give me a quick Guile link real quick.
Oh, okay, well. Boom!
That's 3D combo right there. Jab, jab, punch.
Alright.
Pretty basic combo for Guile. Jab, jab, punches. Weak punch, medium punch.
Yeah. I'm screwed.
That's called a link. Now what a link is, essentially is, you're doing a move,
I'm not doing this right.
you're
Boom,
finishing
right there.
the move, you're doing the move again,
Right there.
while they're still in hit stun.
Right
And
there.
it combos. A combo is a series of attacks that you cannot block out of. Unless you're playing Dead or Alive, that's a whole different monster right there. Alright?
See right there?
That's a whole different.
Once I hit that jab and I got that medium punch coming, they're in a hit state. So they're like reeling from the first hit, and Guile finishes up that jab, pulls it back, gets off another punch, and hits before the other guy can block. That's
Yeah.
that's the whole basis of combos. See like that? I mean, I
That-
tried to block it after that first hit, you can't.
That right there that I just did is called a cancel. There's a difference between a link and a cancel. A link, you're doing 2 full completions of moves. A cancel, you're doing the move, canceling the ending frames of the move, or some frames of the move, and then finishing with something else.
Usually a special move.
Yes.
So like what Jarvis did right there, he hit the medium punch button, which made him punch. As he's punching, he's pressing down forward, he's pressing down forward. That punch connects, and during the time when he's recovering, he's pulling his fist back, he hits that punch button, completing the Hadoken motion. So it's like this, punch, immediately Hadoken. So it